welcome to another fantastic episode of the Boston Greeks podcast, the podcast that brings you the coolest, best, most interesting, most influential Greeks from the Boston area. And today's episode is a good one because we have something a little more unique. Something, I mean, everybody's heard of the job that our guest does, but not many people could probably say they know somebody who does it, and now you're going to meet him. But before we get to our guest, let me introduce my co-host, Foti. How are you, Foti?
I'm well, Ari, and yourself.
I am good, man. I'm excited. We've been talking about this person for a while to get him on the show, and finally we were able to wrangle him down, and he's here. So, Foti, why don't you bring him on?
Absolutely. You just mentioned how, one of the best things in our actual day-to-day operations is hosting this podcast because we bring so many interesting guests, but the key word you said is the coolest guests. And I think this happens to be the coolest guest of all time on the Boston Greeks, where for those of us that enjoy music, I'm sure when we talk about the king of music, you know who this is. But for us here, I would say the Greek king of music is our guest, Dimitrios Stavropoulos. Dimitrios, thank you so much for joining us on this special episode of the Boston Greeks podcast. Welcome to the show, Dimitri.
Pote, nasa kala, Ari, thank you guys so much. It's been a minute since I've seen you guys. It's a pleasure to be on the show. Thank you so much for having me. And
like you said, it's been a minute. I mean, I want to say multiple years, right? It had to be
more than a decade.
No, you think a decade? Maybe?
I want to say a little more. I mean, we're talking like 2001 to about 2004 or 5. I used to see you guys at least
all the time.
All the time. 2000, 2003, Greek nights, Friday nights.
Well, this is one of the crazy things about the Greek scene in Boston is I think a lot of us took it for granted that we used to just see each other all the time. It wasn't like, I have to see Dimitri specifically. It was just like next time we go, we're going to see him. And, as you get older, Dimitri, can you say that quote, the Lennon quote once more? Because it fits here.
John Lennon said this, and it's always stuck with me. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Exactly. See, so that applies here too. And it's like, now we don't see many people, and, you're on the show now. We haven't seen you in so long. But a lot of good memories with you, a lot of good memories at the Greek nights. I'm going to say this. You're probably one of the nicest guys that was like in that Greek barea of ours. Like you were always such like a kind of like, smiling and excited to see people and always willing to talk. Now that we're kind of pulled away from it, I think back to those days and I really appreciated, how you were as a person and your personality. And I'm just glad we got to reconnect with you.
You're just trying to say that Dimitri fights back then, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. But
thank you, Adi. That means a lot. It's like I always as far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gentleman, and I just
well, you were. I mean, I don't think there's anybody out there that was part of that scene that would have anything negative to say about you. I'm pretty confident about that.
Unlike you, Ari.
Yeah, I think there's a few people that have negative thoughts about me. But so Dimitri, tell us a little bit about just your background, where you're from, where you grew up, stuff like that. Just a little bit of your history.
All right. Well, I came to the States in 1985 from Kalamata.
Nice.
My father became an American citizen in '77. He was coming back and forth quite a bit. Got married in '80. I was born in '81. He decided, we're gonna move to the United States to Boston because that's where all his family was. My father came from a family of 7, wow. So it's like everybody's over there. What am I doing over here? Let me go live the American dream. So in in 1985, he decided he's going to bring my mother and I over to the United States. So here I am, this little kid, 4 years old, not knowing anything, leaving from the village, leaving everything that I remembered, which is not much when you're 4 years old, because you don't really have much when you're 4 years old, besides a few goats, chickens, and the dog that keeps barking every 2 seconds when something walks by. So I came here. Everything just happened so quick, but unfortunately, my father died in 1991. Actually, I celebrated his death anniversary just a day ago.
Oh,
He's been gone now since 1991. But I think about him all the time. I'm an only child, not like many Greeks who grew up that at least have one sibling, if not 3 or 4. But I was an only child, so I had to grow up kind of fast. My mom didn't speak English, and you wake up one day and you're 44 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
that must have been. That must have been. Do you remember coming to the first time you came to the States? I mean, that must have been pretty scary for a 4-year-old.
I do remember coming to the States. It wasn't scary. It was just a huge change for the most part. However, sitting right behind me in the airplane were my father's cousin's grandparents. No, my father's cousin's parents that were sitting right behind us. So at least I knew somebody that was, coming with us at the same time.
That's good.
So I had somebody to fall back on. However, it was, flying on an airplane for the first time. You're a little kid.
Yeah, that's pretty intense. That's pretty intense.
It is.
And where did you grow up? Where did you grow up here in Boston?
I grew up in Quincy, Massachusetts.
Nice. So you're part of the Quincy crew.
I am part of the Quincy crew. I grew up at St. Catherine's Greek Orthodox Church, where I have a lot of memories dating back from 1985 all the way up to 2001,
right?
At least, yeah. Until the church moved. It moved to Braintree. So after that, it was a whole transition and everything like that. But I never lost touch with anybody. We all kept in touch over the years, whether it be social media or calling to check on everybody every now and then. That's all.
That's good. That's good. So okay. So now let's get into kind of what you're getting to be known for now is a somewhat of a passion project, somewhat of something that you're, I'm sure, very, very passionate about. I mean, what drives us, our passion drives us. Can you tell us a little bit about this passion project, what you do?
Yes, I can. I am a performer, entertainer, impersonator of one of the greatest music symbols of rock and roll to ever live, Mr. Elvis Presley, who just celebrated his 90th birthday.
Wow.
Just a week ago or so. And I have loved his music ever since I was a kid. The way I got started pursuing this, and it took a long time, to be honest with you. I got made fun of a lot when I was a kid by the way I combed my hair. My father, God rest him, like I said, he passed away just a couple days ago, 34 years ago. He used to comb his hair back, and he had sideburns just like me. However, I used to say to my dad, "Baba, you look like Elvis. Elvis was an idiot. You know what I mean?" It's like he hated the fact that I used to compare him to Elvis. I didn't compare him. I used to say, "Baba, you look like him. He was an idiot. He done it, this and that." You know how Greek parents are.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no way around it. So after he died, I started, I was like, you know what? I miss my father. He looked great. I wanted to look like him. So I started, styling my hair the way he did and everything. And from about 1997 up until now, I have yet to shave this part of my face.
That's awesome.
So I used to get made fun of a lot. And fast forward up until this point, who's laughing now? All I got
Right.
to say is I've made it a long way. Back in 2016, I did my first Elvis gig for an assisted living center, and I had to borrow my jumpsuit. I had to ask somebody to do the music for me. I had nothing back then.
So 2016 was your first gig. So how did that come about? How did you decide, all right, you know what? I am gonna perform as Elvis, and I'm gonna do this as like a paid profession, and I'm gonna, promote myself and book gigs and do the whole nine yards. But how did that first one like come about? That because that's very fascinating to me, like how people kind of, everybody has thoughts of doing stuff, but what is that transition to actually, cross that line? Like I'd love to hear like how what happened to make you cross that line.
Well, for a while, I was going out to karaoke nights,
Oh,
singing,
okay.
and you know, like like
That's a good
really,
transition right there. Yeah.
yeah, um, giving my heart and soul basically to like every song that I was called up to. It's okay, it's your turn now. Come on up. What are you gonna do?
And
So
did you always do Elvis?
I did Elvis. I did a lot of Roy Orbison.
I love Roy
I will
Orbison.
say he was another one of my music idols. As a matter of fact, if you can see in the background over here, I have the Rolling Stone magazine of the year he died back in
Oh, wow.
1988. It's right up over there, and right below is a picture of my father when he was in the army back in 1963.
Wow.
So it's kind of hard to see it unless you like zoom in everything like that. No, I know when we do this in Greece, it means something else, but that's not what I was implying.
So, okay, so
Nato, not nah. It's like
so you kind of like cut your teeth on karaoke is what I'm
I
hearing.
did. Yeah.
Got your confidence?
And yeah, exactly. And the lady who hosted karaoke night had a lot of connections with a lot of like assisted living centers and a lot of other places that she does like DJing too. Because just because you do karaoke doesn't mean that you don't have other resources to
Yeah.
play music or anything like that. So she's like, listen, there's this place that needs an Elvis impersonator. This will be your foot in the door. And I was like, I'll do it. I'll do it. It actually happened to fall on the day where I went to the hospital, and it was revealed that my wife was pregnant with our son.
No.
That same day, I
Wow.
found out that I was having a baby boy.
Ah,
So, and it was great. It was also like very like uplifting. I was I'm like I'm about to have a kid in the upcoming months, and I got to do a show today. I have like all this like anxiety. It's like, am I gonna remember the lyrics? Am I gonna forget certain parts of the song? But you know what? I
yeah.
hung in there, and it felt good, and I nailed it all. It felt great. It really
So
did.
so so after that first gig, was it something like an epiphany, like I want to do this, like this is my calling, like I want to pursue this? Was it one of those things?
You nailed it, Adi. You nailed it. That's exactly what it was, and I haven't stopped since.
That's so cool. That I mean, I 100% give much respect to people who take a passion, find what they're interested in, find what they love, and can turn it into, you know, a job or a side gig or a hustle or a profession, whatever it is. If you could do that, I think more power to you, and much respect for going after, your passion, your dream.
Yeah, yeah. And like I said, ever since that day, it's taken off, and it's only going to grow. It's only going to grow from here. But that's up
Well,
to me.
I do have one testament to you, because my sister came home one day and she texted me, "Do you know Dimitris Stavropoulos?" And I was like, "Yeah, Dimitri. He's awesome dude. I know him really well, blah blah blah." She's like, "I think I just saw him performing as an Elvis impersonator at some bar, or I don't know exactly where it was. It must have been a bar or restaurant." Um, and she was like, and we were like, this, we heard a Greek name, and then like this guy came out, and we were ready to be like, what the heck's going on? And she was like, and he was so good. He was so good. And I was like, that's definitely Dimitri, man. He's awesome. So that's a testament,
That's,
that unknown to anybody, that true story, unknown to anybody, that's what happened. And I was like, bravo, Dimitri, bravo.
no, thank you. That's great to hear. I mean, that means I'm doing something right.
Mm,
So,
100%. So
yeah.
tell us from like here on out, is this something you are going to stick with? Is this something you want to expand on? Is this something, is this something for you going into the future? You're going to keep doing
Yes,
this?
it is. Until the day I can't stand anymore and do my poses as Elvis like I always do, then that'll be the last time. I'm going to be 44 years old come April. I got a lot of energy left in me, and I plan on doing this until I can't do it anymore. Until nothing lasts forever. But
But as you
until I
said,
can't, until I can't put one leg at a time into that jumpsuit, then that, that'll be it.
as far as that, I mean, being Greek and all the we follow the Greek diet, the Greek DNA in of us will definitely keep you going for sure. And aside
Oh
from
yeah.
that, Dimitri, um, you know, can you let us know a little bit about what's coming up in the pipeline? Anything our listening audience can know about, like where they can see you? You have any performances coming up that you can share with us?
As a matter of fact, I do, Foti. January 31st at Aviva in Stoneham, Aviva Trattoria, located conveniently on Main Street in Stoneham, right in front of the Target at Redstone Plaza. I will be there from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., bringing you the best of Elvis and all the great oldies that you want to hear. And then come February 8th at the Greek Orthodox Church in Woburn, I will be there from 7 to 9.
Hmm.
This is going to be a big show.
Is it
This is the
like,
first time.
is this something specifically? What's the event at the church? Is this specifically your event, or is there an event that they hired you for?
No, this is specifically my event. It's an
Oh
Elvis night
wow,
at the church.
bravo!
Oh yeah.
Well, you know what? Having said that,
Seating is limited. It's filling up quick, which I'm very grateful for. I can't wait for it. Um,
wait, does that mean
and
we?
hopefully there'll be like some standing room too if people still want to come in or whatnot. But I'm looking forward to putting on a great show. And
Uh,
you
are there
know,
any are there any backstage passes?
backstage passes. Oh, you guys have no problem. No,
Okay.
don't even worry about
The
that.
group, we're the groupies.
This is this is actually a great.
Backstage passes are gonna be in the back where the parish council has their meetings. You know how it is over there.
So what's in the green room of Dimitrios Stavropoulos at these events? Is there anything that you have like a writer that you must have in your green room when you're getting
A,
ready to
a,
perform?
a bowl of M&Ms with all the red ones taken out, right? Something like that.
But but Dimitri,
Honestly, no,
yes, no,
no,
okay.
there really isn't. It's just me getting ready. Right before I come out on stage and they introduce me. I do I do the cross
There you
real
go.
quick. I point up to the sky and I say, I got this.
Awesome.
This is a good opportunity, Dimitri, for those that are listening to this episode and those that should share this episode. Then now that you mention this, I think that those that sit on the board of the boards at their local organizations and churches, if they're looking for new ways to raise money, bring people, they need to contact you, right?
Right.
What
Yeah.
they're always looking for what's the next idea? What can we do that we haven't done before? So we're definitely gonna, we want to make this a point for those who are listening. You should definitely reach out to Dimitri to put on an amazing show for your guests, to bring people out again and have a great time.
So,
Oh,
Dimitri, you're showing your card. So, um, everybody watching and listening, there, all the information is going to be in the show notes. So just click on any of those links and make sure. One of the reasons we do this podcast is because we need the Greek community to stay together the way it used to be, the way we used to know it, right? We were all
Yes.
together. We all used to be supporting, doing the Greek thing, doing all sorts of stuff. You know, that is, things change, whatever. But I feel like these new generations don't have it the way we did. And we find it important that we stick together and we support one another. So, Dimitri, you're doing something really cool. You're doing something really unique. You're following a passion, and you know what? That's worth a lot. And everybody out there, please support. Go out, catch a show wherever you see him, wherever you could attend an event with him. Do it. Support, and that's why we do this, and that's why we want to talk to cool, interesting people such as yourself, Dimitri.
Adi, thank you so much. I really appreciate your kind words. Yes, guys, come on out, see one of my shows. I guarantee you a good time. Tell all your friends and family. Forti, thank you so much. It's so good to see you guys again. It's like I saw you guys 5 minutes ago, even though it's been years ago. Right now,
Right.
I'm thinking back to the Roxy days, which is now Royale Venue. All those times we used to see each other all the time.
Crazy.
And look how far we've come.
Right.
Look how far we've come.
Right. 100%. All right, Dimitri, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it. We appreciate what you do. We appreciate the long friendship that we've had. And again, everybody out there, support. Check out all his information and just whatever you can do to support, do it, because we're Greeks and we need to stick together and we need to support one another. So once again, Dimitrios Stavropoulos, thank you so much for being with us.
thank you, Dimitri.
Thank you, Adi. Thank you, Forti. Na sta καλά, παιδιά. Until
Thank
next
you.
time.
Yeah,
I'll see you guys.
exactly. And thank you, Forti. And thanks everybody out there for watching and listening. And we will see you all next time.
Gracias.
Bye-bye.